Hello and welcome to the in-depth series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh, and in today's video we will be discussing about that why women bureaucrats lose out on senior posts. Nowadays we are seeing that a number of women are getting selected or a number of females are getting selected in the prestigious exams which is held by our country, where they can go into the administrative positions. But when we talk about the senior most positions in our country, we will not be able to find many women or many females handling those positions. So in today's episode, we will be looking into it. First of all, about the timeline. First, we'll be looking at the news, then about the IAS data, then UPSC statistics, reasons for low participation of women, what are the key factors in it, then the women flag bearers who have held highest position. In the end, Election Commission of India data. Then in the end, our prelims MCQ also we will be looking into. And this topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 2, that is governance section. And if you can also do it from GS paper 1, that is gender issues or society. Now let's see this. The news has been taken from the Indian Express and it says why women bureaucrats lose out on senior posts. So what are the reason for it? This is the most important point that we will be looking into. That what are the reasons that even though females are getting selected, but if we will talk about the highest administrative positions in our country, then we will not be able to find many females and many women handling those positions. So first of all, about few of the statistics, that India in today's time is considered to be a global power, and India is becoming a manufacturing hub also. India is also becoming one of the fastest growing economy. India is also growing at a rapid pace, but still if we will see that be it about the women's participation in the parliament or women's participation or in the labor force, and also about the women's participation in the handling of the senior most administrative positions in our country, then the highest posts are not held by women. So India has one of the fastest growing economies in the world, and it is predicted that in the coming times it would be the third largest economy in the world after US and China. But despite this, its economic growth, women's participation in the country, be it in the perspective of economy, polity and society, has not kept pace with the movement of the country in the forward direction. So first of all, about few of the data and statistics, and that is as per the IAS data, that is Indian Administrative Service data, and the central government employment census of 2011, it is said that less than 11% of its total employees were women. So not even 11% was there in the employment when we talk about the IAS data in the central government's employment census. And by the year 2020, this reached to 13%. So from the year 2011 to the year 2020, that is a time period of around 9 years, but the employment condition was raised only by 2%, that is from 11% to 13%. So what are the reasons that even though we are seeing that a lot of women or a lot of females are getting education, if we will see that most of the toppers nowadays is also females, but why is it that the females who are passing out of the schools from standard 10th or from 12th standard, but they are not reaching the highest positions in our country? Then in fact, out of a total of 11,569 IAS officers entering service between 1951 to 2020, only 1,527 were women. So from the time period of 1951 to the year 2020, imagine out of 11,500 around officers which has been passed out, only 1,700 were women. So from 11,500, only 1,500 are women. So this is a very, very low statistics if we will talk about. And only 14% of secretaries in the IAS were women in the year 2022, and 13 out of 32 posts. So they are not reaching the highest positions, and there are only 3 women chief secretaries across Indian states and union territories. This was about the IAS data. Now let's talk about the UPSC statistics. So recently the exam which was held and the result has come of the batch 2022. So of the 933 candidates selected in the latest round of the Union Civil Service examination, 320 were women, and this is the highest ever. So 320 are women in this year's selection, and this is the highest ever selection. Then they have also secured 6 spots in the top 10, which is a remarkable achievement, including the top 4 ranks repeating last year's record. And these trends are promising as they indicate that more women are entering the bureaucracy than before. Now that we will see that most of the females are entering in the bureaucracy as compared to the previous times. So what were few of the reasons that in earlier times that women were not entering? And one of the reasons that we were not able to find, or we are not able to find a woman handling the highest positions in the administrative services of India. One of the reasons is that if one wants to reach to the highest position, then one has to enter into the services at quite a young age. So if the women participation will not be high, then how would women enter at a very young age and reach that level? So that is also a point, that at what stage the woman is entering into the service. Now let's talk about few of the reasons for low participation of women. First and foremost was that when India got independence after the year 1947, then the education of women was very low, first and foremost, because if one wants to enter or hold the highest administrative position in the country, then the education has to be there, because there is a minimum education required, a bachelor's degree in any discipline. So first and foremost being the education, the literacy level was not that good, and there were few of the other reasons also. And there is one reason which has been I'll just be telling you, which is not that good. That is that the recruitment rules were skewed in favor of men. It was favored that men would be preferred over female, and it was seen that only unmarried women, focus on the word only unmarried women could join the services and had to quit if they subsequently married. And this I am talking about the year 1950s and 60s. So it was only unmarried women who could enter into the services, and if they get married, they have to move out. And it was after the marriage disqualifier was removed that the ratio of women to men in the IAS went from 1:82 in 1960 to 1:8 in the 1970s. So imagine the scenario of 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, that it was only the unmarried woman who was allowed to enter, and the ratio in 1960 was 1 woman out of 82 men, and in 1970s it was 1 woman out of 8 men. So this actually would tell you that in the initial years why female was not able to reach to that highest position to handle that administrative position which they should have got, because few of the rules were just not in their favor. Then the postings were overshadowed by mistrust in women's abilities. The postings which was given to women was considered to be a soft department, because it has always been a question that whether female would be able to handle the topmost position or not. The pressure which is there on the topmost position, the women would not be able to satisfy or would not be able to handle it. It is considered that there would be high chances that the department might not be able to perform better. So the women's abilities has always been in question, and they have always been given soft departments, and India still hasn't boosted women RBI governor, cabinet secretary or chief economic advisor. So these are few of the topmost and the few of the most prestigious positions in India, but a woman has not held it, that is an RBI governor, cabinet secretary or a chief economic advisor. Now let's talk about few of the women flag bearers, and these women have also gone through a problem that they were supposed to get a higher position, but because of some reasons they could not reach there and had to settle for something low, even though that was also very prestigious and a record in itself, but still. So first let us talk about Renuka Vishwanathan. She was the first woman district magistrate in Karnataka. Then Sudha Pillai. She was robbed of the chance to become India's first woman cabinet secretary, and she had to settle for another position, and that was joint secretary in the industry ministry. Then Janaki Kathpalia. She was the additional secretary and she also worked closely with former Prime Minister of India, that is Manmohan Singh, in preparing the Union Budget from 1991 to 1995. Even though they worked at such high and prestigious positions, but they could have went ahead if the things were in their favor. But they could not, not because they lacked in qualifications or degrees, but because of some other reasons that they were not given the position which they deserved. Now let us talk about few of the data of the Election Commission of India, data about the women's participation in our legislature or in our parliament. Then according to the Inter-Parliamentary Union in India, women make up 14.44% of the Lok Sabha. So in the legislation of the country, the people who are making the law in our country, out of 100%, the women participation is only 14.44%. So it is not even the 25%. It is not even the quarter of the people who are sitting there and making the law for our country. The women's participation is only 14.44%, and that too is considered to be very high till now. And the women represent 10.5% of all members of parliament as of October 2021. And for all the state assemblies, female MLAs, that is member of legislative assemblies, representation stands at an average of 9%. So in the states the participation is even low. Then data for May 2022, it showed that women's representation in Pakistan was 20%, Bangladesh was 21%, and in Nepal was 34%. So these countries are even ahead of us when we talk about the women's participation. That India is lagging behind when it comes to women's participation, even from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Nepal. Now in the end, a prelims MCQ, and you people need to solve it and give me the answer in the comment section. And the question says, consider the following statements. First, all the state assemblies, female MLAs representation stands at an average of 9%. And second is that women make up around 14.5% of the Lok Sabha. So you have to tell me about the correct answer, and the options are 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. So try to solve the question and give me the answer in the comment section. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.